Okay, everyone. Welcome everyone to tonight's meeting of the Services Delegated Committee. Before we commence the meeting, I request that all mobile phones are turned off or switched to silent, please. Thanks. My name is Councillor Di Gillies and I chair this committee. The Services Delegated Committee meeting is being live streamed on the Council website, so you'll be able to view the proceedings of the meeting, councillor deliberations and voting. The meeting will also be recorded and be made available on the Council website as soon as practical after the meeting. Should technical problems be encountered, the meeting will be adjourned until the problem is rectified, or if needed, the meeting will be postponed. Now I'll introduce my fellow councillors. Seated to my left on the horseshoe table in the chamber are Councillor Jim Park, Councillor Nick Stavrou, Councillor Wes Galt, our Mayor Councillor Felicity Sinfield. On the opposite side, Councillor Lisa Hollingsworth, Deputy Mayor, Councillor Gary Thompson, Councillor Jane Addis, Councillor Susan Biggar and Councillor Victor Franco. I also acknowledge our CEO, Mr Philip Storer, to my right, and our Manager of Governance and Legal, Mr Brian Wee, to my left. There are other officers in attendance tonight and they'll be introduced as they present their reports. The purpose of the Services Delegated Committee is to deal with issues relating to the provision of human and physical services and Council's infrastructure. For those in the gallery presenting this evening, but I don't believe when we come to the agenda item, it'll be introduced by an officer. I can then call people, although at this stage we don't actually have anyone scheduled to speak to us. Therefore, I probably don't need to give the instructions, do I? Thank you. There is, however, a limit of 3 minutes for each speaker, which includes councillors. Now, Mr Wee, are there any apologies for this evening?
Through you, Madam Chair, Councillor Watson's an apology this evening.
Thank you. Let's move to our agenda. Item 1, adoption and confirmation of the minutes of the Services Delegated Committee meeting held on the 20th of September 2023. Councillors, can I have a motion, please, to adopt and confirm those minutes? Councillor Jim Park, thank you. And thank you.
So moved, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor. And a seconder, Councillor Addis. Thank you, Councillor Addis. Putting that motion to the vote. Thank you, that's unanimously passed. Declaration of conflict of interest of any councillor or council officers. Are there any conflicts to be declared tonight? No. We'll proceed with our agenda then. Presentation of officer reports. 3.1 on the agenda is the item at Contract 2023/05 Linden Park Pavilion Renewal and Upgrade. This will be presented by Ms Christine White, accompanied by Mr Daniel Freo.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Chair, this report seeks to endorse the award of Contract 2023/05 for Linden Pavilion Renewal and Upgrade Works for a lump sum of $3,828,036, excluding GST. Linden Reserve is home ground to an active football club and cricket club with a large membership base. With the rapid growth of women's football, junior competitions and changes in the operation and expectations of sporting clubs, pavilions such as Linden Reserve no longer provide the required standard of accommodation to support community sporting and other community activities. The existing pavilion is an existing single-storey building and the proposed works retains the existing single-storey with extensions involving extensive internal alterations and additions to provide much improved facilities. The facility, when completed, will include 2 additional change rooms, an upgrade to the existing change rooms, upgrades to the first aid room, additional umpires room, upgrades to the existing umpires room, improvements to building access, new public toilets accessible from the outside of the building for access to all park and playground users, and increased in storage space. Linden Reserve is a multi-year project and is funded for redevelopment within the council amended budget. The shortfall in council expenditure in future years has been recognised in the development of the draft 23-24 budget. The project has secured state and federal grants contributing $1,159,000 towards the project. These grants form part of the state government Local Sports and Infrastructure Fund and federal government Local Roads and Community Infrastructure Grants program. The relevant tenant has also confirmed a club contribution of $26,000 for external doors to enable better use of indoor-outdoor space for presentation events to accommodate their large membership base. The project includes provision of temporary facilities for the club during the construction period. The development has been guided by Council's policy for the development and funding of community pavilions 2019. The tender evaluation panel assessed all tenders received against both quantitative and qualitative criteria and is satisfied that the recommended contractor, Reliance Construction, can perform the required works and demonstrates best value for money. Pending award of contract, works are anticipated to commence mid-2023 and be completed in April 24, followed by a 12-month defects period. In summary, the officer's recommendation is to award the contract as per the council report. Thank you.
Councillors, are there any questions of Ms White? Councillor Galt.
Thank you, Chair. In your report, you mention a contract contingency. Is it in fact a contract contingency or a project contingency?
It is a contingency for the contract.
So it is not stated in the contract itself? Should have the page.
Sorry, in the report it refers to an overall project contingency. There is more detail in the confidential report.
Okay, it was just the early paragraph I read, it called it a contract contingency, and I would prefer to see it called a project contingency, but that's what it is. Thank you.
Noted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Hollingsworth.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have no questions, but I'd like to foreshadow a motion at the appropriate time. Thank you.
Okay, well, no more questions. I think that exhausts that. So, Councillor Hollingsworth, your motion?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to support the officer recommendation as printed. Thank you.
Do we have a seconder, please? Councillor Sinfield?
Happy to second.
Thank you. Does anyone have any objections to this motion? Councillor Addis, your light is also on. Was that seconder? To assist Councillor Hollingsworth, does anyone have any objections to her motion? All right, would you like to speak to that motion, Councillor?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Look, I first of all want to thank Ms White for her overview of the project, and she's covered quite a lot of detail with regard to what's entailed in delivering this project and what's proposed in front of us. The Linden Park Pavilion renewal, like so many pavilion renewal projects that have happened in recent years or are scheduled to take place in the years to come, is a culmination of 7 years of advocacy between council and community and liaising with our sporting clubs Burundara-wide. When I was first elected in late 2016 and had the opportunity to interact with sporting clubs, for the first time I went through several of our pavilions, and it was a little bit like stepping back in time when it was the football, meat pies, kangaroos and Holden car philosophy synonymous with the male-dominated grassroots sporting clubs. As I walked through the pavilions, I realised that a lot of them were not female-friendly and not attractive to female participants in the sport. And I'm pleased to say that councillor colleagues agreed, and through that we developed the Diversity, Inclusion, Participation program, which is what has led to the review of the renewals over many years. Look, I'm delighted to say that the winter tenant, the Sharks Football Club, and the summer tenant, the Burwood Uniting Canterbury Cricket Club, will be very grateful if Council does support what is proposed in front of us. The program has been due for renewal for many years and will certainly provide the necessary facilities that all tenants do need. I'd also like to briefly mention that the Surrey Hills Neighbourhood House has expressed interest of being a third tenant at this pavilion. Because of the capacity of the centre they're at the moment, they need additional space. And through interaction with the Surrey Hills Neighbourhood House, Council over the last 12 months, 2 years, have implemented a community open day to see an expression of interest from the Lindenmore community of their desire to participate in programs that could be offered at the pavilion. Now, this pavilion, once the renewal project takes place, will provide an accessible, for all ages, all stages of life facility that can be utilised during the weekdays. So I just wanted to thank you all for listening to what I had to say. I want to thank the officers for their presentation, for their hard work, and I will leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Sinfield, as seconder, did you wish to speak to this?
No, thank you, Chair. It's not opposed.
Thank you. All right, in that case, let's put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please. That's passed unanimously. Thank you, councillors. All right, that moves us to item 4, general business. Councillors, are there any matters of general business? Councillors, I see nothing. Item 5, urgent business. Any matters of urgent business? Nothing. Item 6, confidential business. Are there any items of confidential business? I believe not. All right. That brings us to the close of our meeting. Before I close the meeting, I'd like to thank all of those who have joined us online and in the chamber and wish you and your family good health. I declare the Services Delegated Committee meeting closed. Thank you.